Hello there, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. Enemies that let you live. What do I mean by that? What is the inspiration for this video? So a part of it comes from part of my work day today, seeing about how, people who like to get a quick smirk on their face, trying to make a little tease at you, a little jab, right? And something that they say to kind of throw you off, to tick you even, to trigger you, to make a mistake, to say something that you would never say in front of other people. Right. Some of the greatest enemies that we can think of that try to traumatize us, that try to put our memories against our own will, right? Thinking about how our greatest enemy can turn our own mindset against ourselves. I mean, these are real thoughts. These are real traumatizing things that narcissists do to people, to control others, to make fun of them, right? To really manipulate and to destroy other people. But when you really think about it, okay, sure, a narcissist, as horrible as they are an enemy that lets you live. And if you think about it, that's their greatest blunder. If we're going to be so hardcore about this kind of topic, this kind of theme, think about it. A real enemy would never let you make it past to the next day. Why is that? So I'm bringing to you this fact. If to you feel like it's a hard day, a harsh work day even, whatever it is, but you recognize, hey, I survived the mockery. I survived the hardships today. It's not just because, yes, you were resilient, you pushed through, but it's also a blunder on your enemy that you perceive as an enemy because they did not let you, how do I say this? They forgot in a way to really traumatize you to where you would not come back again. If a true enemy was really out there to put you down, they would have done so. And why am I talking about this kind of topic with the harsh sense today? Because I want you to recognize if people are letting you go, if people are not trying to, in a sense, traumatize you to finish you from your job, etc., all right then, you have the opportunity now to stand against your opponent, your enemy, the one that you say is the one person that's trying to put you down, and you recognize, wait a minute, I'm still here. My enemy did not put me down. They're weak. They're incompetent. They were trying to traumatize me. They were trying to bully me. Holy cow. You have now turned the script when you recognize the power within you that they failed to put you out. They failed to put you down. They failed to traumatize you because you recognize that you're still alive to live another day, to move it to the next moment. And now you have the power back in your hand, your mind, your will. You can now outthink them. And now it's up to you. Do you want to re-traumatize your enemies now? Do you want to go back against them? Do you want to say something to them that'll traumatize them to where now you're now scaring the narcissist, right? You see, power can always change in the hands of the people who recognize that it's there to wield. And so when you recognize in this sense that, hey, I survived the day, my opponent did not finish me off. My opponent did not take me down and get me fired, etc., etc. I realize that I now have the power to stand back to them, to get back in their face, to get back to them and say, haha, all right, we're going to play this game in the work area. You want to dance? Let's dance. Let's talk. Let's get into each other's faces and see who's going to win this battle because you failed as my enemy, narcissist, to put me down. That's your blunder. You're a terrible narcissist. You're a poor opponent. You don't know how to finish your opponent. If you really were a great, evil person, you would have known how to have finished a person off. So I speak this harshly because I want you to recognize, people, that when you feel like you're the victim, feel like you've been taken down, when you feel like, in this regard, that you're a target, you recognize now that your opponents did not finish you off. You can fight back. You can say in your mind, hey, my opponents were very poor. They did not know how to really traumatize me. They did not know how to put me down. And now I can go out and say, okay, whatever. I'm okay now. I can go live a powerful life. I can go now and work hard. I can go now and move past the terrible memory. I can move now to live a powerful life. My opponents were terrible opponents. They were weak. They were incompetent. They were trying to fool me. They were trying to scare me. They were trying to put whatever fear into my mind. A true opponent would know how to use power to put you out of a business, to take down your reputation, to make you look bad in front of others. Okay, those are the real opponents. Those are the real enemies. Those are the real people who know how to play the game. But for the majority of people, I would say, that try to be that kind of scary person, they don't know how to play. They don't know how to be terrifying. They don't know how to go against an opponent like you who knows that you're a good person that wants to do good for people in the community. And sometimes good people really do have a lot of power. They don't recognize how to use it. They don't know how to self-advocate for themselves, to speak on their own behalf, to share with the rest of the people, hey, I know what I'm talking about is real. I know what I'm talking about is true. If you want the best for me, then fine. Let's go and have this kind of conversation in front of the crowd. You want my worst? Fine. We'll have this kind of conversation in front of the crowd. But at the end of the day, did anything happen? No. You and I were just talking air. It's just sounds coming out of our mouth. It's just sounds and meanings and words that try to sound authentic and powerful. But when you see that the sound, even from my own voice in this video, is just nothing but sound from my mouth, you recognize, oh my gosh, you can go so metaphysical in a moment with somebody that you don't have the fear anymore. You don't have the fear of your opponents anymore. And so now it becomes, okay, what if my opponents now become aggressive? What if they actually assault me at work? And that never happened with regard to the theme of the video here. But what I'm trying to tell you is you recognize that we as people go back to primitive settings, animalistic instincts, those basic principles of survival. See, when you recognize that a person is the rational animal that can really kind of fool themselves, we fool ourselves into thinking we're so superior, but we forget our own basic principles, our own basic distinctions, our basic habits, to where, okay, wait a minute, I could just walk on past an opponent and a person's voice because it's just words in the air, hot air, right? They're not being aggressive to me. I could walk past my opponent. I can ignore them. I don't have to play the game. I don't have to fall to that level. I don't even have to retaliate because I recognize they're just trying to appear aggressive, appear dominant, appear so scary-like that they really failed as a rational animal to be a true threat. The true threat really comes back down to who you perceive them to be. And if you recognize that you are the greatest opponent in your mind, in your idea of the world around you, your perception of how people look at you, when you recognize that your greatest opponent is yourself, that limits your own abilities because it's your own self-beliefs that define how far you can go. And when you recognize that you can get past your own self by defeating what it is in your mind that's holding you back, you can push beyond your limits. You can recognize, I don't have to stay at this job 9 to 5. I don't have to put myself down at work. I don't have to be so gentle and nice. I can choose to be gentle and nice by my power, if that is what I so choose to be. But I don't have to be the nice person. I can also advocate for myself, and so can you. I can advocate for what has to be done for somebody that I'm helping, for their needs, for what they have to receive in order to get past their situation. And maybe I didn't get the great review that I was hoping for. That's the thing that'll slow you down, are reviews and actual criticisms from critics that are in that position. But when you're talking with other people in the work area, other people in life that want to play the role of critic, but they're not really the critic, if you know what I'm trying to tell you, then the fear can really be an illusion at that point. Because you recognize, okay, the only way I could get fired, the only way I can look horrible in front of others is when the workload becomes terrible, when the gossiping really comes out of control, and other people are now starting to harass me at work, in life, etc., to where now I'm just like, okay, hey, those are just signs that this is a weak environment. They don't tolerate my appearance, my ideas, my own perception of how I think things should be run, and now I can move forward. And now you recognize, okay, you're not the narcissist, but you have strength and power like the narcissist. you recognize that you are a good person and you have the power to be good. And you don't have to be the bad guy in this situation. And by your good actions, your kind deeds to help other people in the world around you, your actual actions, even the physical ones to where you got the resources to people literally from one house to another, from one town to another, from one country to another, whatever role you are listening on the video in your role in community, in society, you recognize that a good person is just as dangerous as a narcissist because of the power you recognize. And that is what the narcissist is afraid of you recognizing. And so, hear me out. You have the power to do good. And not to rant and not to continue on a random conversation that'll just keep going on in this idea of power and how you use it, etc. What are you going to do now, knowing that you have the ability to challenge negative thoughts, to challenge your negative mindset, to challenge your limited ability to think of how you perceive yourself to be? Get past your limits in the work environment. Get past your limits with trying to be with somebody you want to be with in your life, etc. To now go and seek a challenge that is worth pursuing. To ask somebody out. To go and talk with someone that you haven't talked with for years. To go on a travel trip that you wanted to do but you were so afraid to plan it out. Right. The more you procrastinate, right, the more those negative thoughts will hold you back. And so when you start to battle your procrastination, the more things will be done. People will say, oh, you're doing too much, or they're trying to resist. But your power is so powerful, it's putting the fear in your opponents because they were afraid to put you down, and they were just poor narcissists that did not know how to use their abilities. There's real life, and I hope you can now move forward and challenge those who are trying to challenge you in the work environment in your life as well. Be strong. All right, everyone. I hope this video finds you well. Always recognize that you could put fear in the narcissist by your positive actions because you are the mirror reflection of what they are, but they are too afraid to put you out of a business because you are just so powerful and you're putting them back in the shadow because you are the one who's getting work done. Like a boss. You got this. All right, everyone. Hope this video finds you well. Take care. Have a good one.